There was a lot of noise and turbulence around the Sandro Tonali story. 1 minute, Manchester United are going for him as the number one target, and then the next minute, Man United like him, but they're a little bit worried about going down that route, and he's not really a key target for them. What is the truth surrounding Sandro Tonali? How likely is that deal? And are Manchester United genuinely interested in him?
Yeah, I've been pretty consistent here that Elliot Anderson is the number one target for Manchester United. Naturally respect any other reporting, but I'm not aware that Manchester United are poised to bid for Sandro Tonali, but they like him. Challenge with Sandro Tonali is cost, and it doesn't really matter about the other Newcastle United business. I stand by what I said before, that particularly Guimaraes and Tonali would be intertwined, and it would be staggering if both went. But even if Newcastle United sold nobody except Tonali, he would still be incredibly expensive, because when Tonali was banned for breaches of the FA's gambling rules, Newcastle United quietly extended his contract. And Tonali not only appreciated that, which is why I still don't think we'll be in Alexander Isak territory where he agitates for a move, but it protected his value. So Sandro Tonali is valued not at 100 million, but likely in excess of 100 million. Wages are higher than Elliot Anderson. He's a little bit older than Elliot Anderson. There's a bigger agent commission as well. So the overall cost of signing Sandro Tonali is viewed by those at Manchester United as prohibitive. It's not to say that they couldn't find the number for Tonali. It's that he's not viewed as strong value. And if they went down the route of Tonali, it might mean that collectively, even with Champions League football, they can't do business at the high volume that they're looking for. So I come back to another thing that I've said before. My expectation is that up to 5 could come in to Manchester United, of which 2 will almost certainly be central midfielders. So we're so early now that it's worth noting the domino effect of other business, because I think fans listening, and for many weeks, they either feel like there's no update, and that's partially because if you're consistent in your reporting, there won't be a great update at this stage, or they want to know a clear hit list. And naturally, if Manchester United don't get Elliot Anderson and Manchester City are there, they will have to pivot to other targets. But as of now, I would say plan A is Elliot Anderson. There is definite appreciation for Sandro Tonali, but Anderson is a higher priority. They like Bruno Guimaraes, but again, age is a factor. Cost could be a factor. And then a whole host of other midfielders, because once again, 2 are going to come into the football club. And I'm aware that every single show, that's my update. But what do you want? Every single show to change the top target, to change the main story, to add a bit of fresh speculation, or to try and tell you the picture as of now, which since January hasn't really changed. They want Elliot Anderson. They've not given up on Elliot Anderson. But of course, Manchester City are there as well.
And, you know, it's interesting that you say that, because you have remained consistent on Elliot Anderson, even though there's been some rumours that he's basically a done deal to City, and he might well go to City. We know that they're in the race. You have said that on the show. But the fact that Manchester United is still there is something you have remained consistent on this show, and it's exciting for me, because he's a top target for me. And it asks the question, are Man United and Man City going to be battling for very similar targets for the same position come the summer?
Yeah, I think so. And part of it is because they both want a midfielder who's sort of a marquee signing. Maybe even in City's case too, a lot will depend on Rodri. So with Man City, Bernardo Silva is going to leave on a free transfer. We've not had official confirmation of that, but that's been my understanding for quite some time. And then if Rodri departs, of course, City could enter the race for 2 serious midfielders. One is Elliot Anderson, and make no mistake, they're going to go strong on Elliot Anderson too. And that's been clear for quite some time. City and United are going to need clarity over, in City's case, Pep Guardiola's future. In United's case, who the new manager is going to be. And Tonali and Man City could be a story to watch. Even still, Tonali and Arsenal, although the thing about Arsenal is that they were never actually that intent in January. It was a cursory inquiry that I think got blown out of proportion, because like I've said on a previous show, it's in Tonali's interest to make it clear that he's looking at options, and to do that early and definitively, because he knows that if Bruno Guimaraes was to go, or alternatively, if Newcastle were to go on a run and just secure Champions League football, the club's going to be in a much stronger position financially in the case of other outgoings first. And financially, you could argue, if they were to somehow get Champions League football, to shut the door. So this is why I think we're hearing a lot of noise now, because the player's almost setting out his stall. In the same way, I would argue, by the way, Enzo Fernandez is hinting consistently that he would quite like Real Madrid. So this is sometimes just what players do. And even though they can't speak directly to the media, and even though Tonali no doubt would say he's got great respect for Newcastle United, there's a lot of noise to make it clear, I think, to the market that options are being explored, and also that the player would be open to a move. Newcastle United fans don't like to hear it. I know that they'll read a small part of what I say on social media and feel like, once again, it's the media billing an exodus of several Newcastle United players, but it's the reality. They didn't like it when we were reporting on Alexander Isak as well. But with Man City, they have, I think, two clear priorities. The first is a midfield revamp, and it will be a minimum of one and potentially two.
Are they looking at Tonali as well, can I just ask?
Are they what, sorry?
Are they looking at Tonali as well as Anderson?
Yeah, I mean, they like Tonali, they like Elliot Anderson. Man City have looked at Ederson as well from Atlanta. That's a player that we've heard for Manchester United, although I've never really been led to believe that he's as high as some of the other targets that we've discussed. I would put Ederson and Atlanta's central midfielder in the same bracket, maybe as Angelo Stiller at the moment.